Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk? This is your boy Eric. I'm here with Anthony and Shayna. It's been a long time.
Gone for a minute.
Oh, he's going for a minute. Had to be 3 weeks. It's good to see y'all.
Good to see
I
you.
miss y'all.
Yeah, I missed y'all too, man. I miss talking with folks and
Yeah.
having my opinion out there and there for everybody to see, because I love attention.
And it was so many.
Do you?
No, not really.
And there was so many good movies out, the past few weeks that we got to talk about, in which we will
Very
get.
much.
But yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be in the studio with the familiar faces. Y'all, there's been a lot of crazy stuff that happened in terms of current events.
Even today, like Trump
Yeah.
tweeted today, basically like go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what?
So first off, what I first want to talk about, y'all hear about the guy Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes.
So he had this whole little, it's kind of hard to explain. So he's basically taking these young girls, these 13, 14-year-old girls, and kind of like selling them off, or like some type of weird like sex traffic system that he had. He's also friends with the Clintons and Trump. So, people on both sides are like, oh, y'all friends is, you friends with this child molester, this predator. And I think it was rumors that Trump actually probably did do something with one of the little girls. I'm sure he.
Well, my thing
sure he
is, he ain't the
Allegedly.
only one. He ain't
Oh,
the
of
only
course
one.
not.
Not even by far.
These celebrities are crazy, like these
But
rich people.
I just think that it's odd. Like I'm gonna have to have a hotel moment. I just think that it's odd that we all know that R. Kelly is a pedophile,
Right.
But now all of a sudden, we got Fed charges now for
All
R.
right.
Kelly.
All
I'm
of a
all of a sudden. And then it was like, well, like people that used to work for him, they had the tapes, and now they have released the tapes. First of all, you need to go to jail
For real.
because you held on to those tapes for monetary gain, and you weren't like your main priority should be to protect children.
Yep.
Like that should be, that should be a priority of everybody's over money.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you should go to jail. That's conspiracy because as soon as the money dried up, now, I have these tapes. You can.
Yeah. And then there was the one guy that officiated. I don't know if that's the right term, but was kind of made the marriage license between him and Aaliyah legal.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he should be in jail
definitely.
too. Yeah, there was a lot of people who played a part in it, and they all should be punished. But with Jeffrey Epstein, this guy, I think he was convicted about a year or two ago. He only served like 13 months for his first conviction. And if you hear some of the details of what he did, like this is gross. Like he's literally a pedophile. He was like had young girls giving him massages. He had like a whole separate little massage studio or something that he brought the little girls to. This guy's nuts. And to be given 13 months previously, that's a slap on the wrist.
Okay, so this is just a sex trafficker that was found. Like what was his
No,
day
he's
job?
he's a billionaire.
He's a billionaire. Like he's not just
Right.
he's not a pimp named Slipback. He's
Right.
like a billionaire.
So he's really wealthy. He's like connected with everyone, celebrities, other billionaires, millionaires, and to let this, I think he's in the pockets of a lot of people. They say he's in the pockets of judges.
This is terrible. But if you scratch any billionaire, you're gonna find some exploitation.
Oh, for sure.
That's just deviant though. What he was doing.
I'm telling you, they all a little psycho. I think.
But I read a book called about psychopaths. Like, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be anti-society. You have to be anti-people in order to exploit people on that level to gain that amount of money or to gain any money.
Yeah, because you definitely taking advantage of someone
The
in the process.
Wisdom of Psychopaths. The name of the book just came. The Wisdom of Psychopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. Money is power, and unfortunately, most people who have the money, who have the power, don't use it to good use. You know what I mean?
Not at all. Another note. I think yesterday or a couple of days ago, the vice president took a tour of the facility in one of the southwestern states. I think it was Arizona or New Mexico, one of the border towns. And to see these people, like these are grown men, all like 300 of them, all in this cage. Like nowhere to sleep. They said like people haven't showered in days. It was gross. It's disgusting. And to think that these are like, it's such a human rights travesty, and we're allowing this to take place in this country that's supposed to be this free country. Everyone has an opportunity to succeed. But you're seeing that we're putting people in cages. Like this looks like Nazi Germany. It's crazy. I don't know if y'all saw the pictures.
I didn't
But it's
see the
horrible.
pictures.
Yeah, so Pence basically just was looking at these people. He's looking over them. Like, he didn't want to make eye contact with them. And he just was touring the facility. They was talking about how horrible it is. It's overcrowded. And people were up in arms. Like, this is what we're doing to these people, regardless if you're a citizen or not. It's just a human rights crime. And it's horrible.
Look, I mean, prison is just...
But it shouldn't even be a prison. Like, they didn't break any laws. Like, these people are seeking asylum legally.
Right.
And they're put in cages. They're detained right now.
Right. No, I know. I was going to connect it to like the military industrial complex in general. You know, like if your goal is to rehabilitate and you got people in unfair conditions, then where's the rehabilitation? You know,
There's none.
You're kind of just putting them like you're treating them like a dog.
Right. And I think
Same thing with this.
And you're just gonna make people who are just more hostile towards the United States, towards, you know, just because of the situation. You know, it's breeding a lot of just contempt for our government. And it's sad. And, you know, Donald Trump, he doesn't care. You know, our elected officials don't care. But somebody, like, I think if enough of us feel like this is wrong, we need to do something about it, we got to make our voices heard. Like, we got to do something.
I mean, this is a domestic issue, and this is also a foreign issue. A lot of these people are coming from Central America.
Yep.
They're not coming from Mexico. They're coming from Central America, where we explicitly have had a hand in the destabilization of these countries.
Yeah.
So I think that we definitely should invest in stabilizing these countries, because we are responsible for the chaos in these countries, and that's why these people are fleeing.
So true. Because we always want to have our hand in every single foreign issue. Like, that's just us.
That's what I was trying to explain to my mom, because she was like, she big on this whole, the Russians. I'm like, but we have had our hand in assassinations, elections, like.
Sure.
There's a certain reevaluation that needs to be done with Team America World Police. Because that is a smart, stupid comedy.
It is.
Because America, we look at ourselves as the world police. You know what I mean?
Yep. In some lighter news, United States women's team won the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's exciting. They definitely not going to the White House. From what was his name? Megan Rapinoe. Mm-hmm. She stated, like, you know, she's no way she's going to the White House, no way she's going to see Trump, and I agree. But that's cool. That's cool that the women, you know, are holding the United States up in terms of the soccer scene. Unfortunately, though, they're getting paid way less than their male counterparts. I think they're making about $500,000 for this win each, whereas the men, if they won, I think it was closer to, what was it? It was something like 2 times more than what it was.
And I don't get the wage gap with women's and men's soccer, because nobody watches men's or women's soccer.
Right.
Like, I can understand the wage gap with the WNBA and the NBA, because unfortunately we don't watch the WNBA.
Exactly.
But nobody watches soccer, period. So that I don't understand the wage gap there.
And even with tennis, you know, women's tennis is, like, you know, more popular because of Serena and Venus. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah.
And the fact that even with women's sports, specifically women's soccer, in the United States, we've been dominant for the past
4 or 5 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Like, we won, I think, 4 World Cups, and the Women's World Cup has only been in existence since, like, the 90s. So that kind of shows you, like, they've been dominating. So we need to pay these women.
Like, dominating versus other countries where soccer is like the NFL. There.
Right. You got the Latin American countries. You got, obviously, European countries who are all sort of originators, you know, of the sport. So, yeah, I mean, we gotta be fair. You know, this is 2019, about to be 2020. There's no reason they shouldn't get paid. 2020. That's crazy. Yeah, 2020 is.
That's something, ain't it? 2020. I never thought about that until right now.
I remember thinking as a kid, like, oh, in 2020 we're gonna have flying cars and.
Man,
all this
fuck
stuff.
that insurance gonna be high as hell.
You know, isn't Michigan focused on a bill that kind of lowers it?
They said they passed the bill that was gonna lower it, but
is it really?
Is it really?
Look, man, hopping into 2020, like we really gotta ask ourselves an important question. Like, you know, like. Are we storming Area 51 or not?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
We doing it. We going to hold a Can We Talk episode at the little standoff?
We should. Y'all want to?
No. I'm not going.
No, I ain't trying to. First off, I don't want to
First
see
of
what
all,
exists.
They came here illegally.
Right. Right. Hey, but how did that get started? Like, who was the mastermind behind it?
I have no idea. I'm like, why is
It's
Area
social
51
media, bro.
trending? And then I looked and people talking about we gonna bust out the alien.
Like, nah, I'm straight.
Yeah.
First off, I don't want to see what's behind there, personally. And then if you try to cross, you probably go to jail.
Look, you try to free the animals from the zoo, somebody's going to get bit. Okay?
Yeah. But I mean, there's truth to it. I mean, obviously they have a whole
Right.
designated area, so I think there probably are aliens somewhere. But again, I'm not going to try to find them.
I mean, the
but-
truth is out there. I just don't need to know.
Right. Right. So I guess that's it for current events. That sums it up. It's a perfect way to wrap it up. Let's move on.
Oh yeah, hip
Shayna.
hop corner.
Yeah, Hip Hop Corner.
Crit is here.
Crit is here. And Crit is Crit. It's not, I mean, listen, it's not his worst album. It's a pretty solid album.
What's his worst album?
Probably, it's debatable, Live from the Underground. But even that on its own is still a good album. You know what I mean? But it's like out of the big Crit albums, Live from the Underground is probably like the least best. We got some good songs here. This album really did make me appreciate Crit Here more, the single,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because it fit with the album.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Addiction. Lil Wayne had a great standout verse on it, but I was like,
It's an obvious single.
it is.
Like, you know how you listen to an album, you like, okay. Like back in the, like, you know, those albums that came out like in the 90s. Like a Jay-Z album.
Yeah.
Like you'll listen to a Jay-Z album and then that song, you like, okay, this
That
is
was the
going to
single.
be this is the
Right.
single.
Right.
You know, Blue Flame Ballet was a great song.
Yes.
That's a classic Crit song.
Yes.
Learn from Texas. You know, we already heard that, but
Mm-hmm.
that was part of the album. So Prove It with J. Cole. I did like this song, but I was a little confused by J. Cole's verse. So was he just talking about a longtime fan, or was there some symbolism there?
I'm like he talking about Crit. I'm like, is he talking about Crit and the fan? Like, I don't understand.
'Cause I was
Like, I
like,
didn't understand it either.
This woman kept stalking him at an airport and said, like, I'm your biggest fan, and followed him throughout his career. And I was like, all right, so what we talking about here? What's the moral to the story? Like, who is she?
That's creepy. I was like, damn, I need a job with that type of flexibility. where I get to travel and go to concerts.
Because the song is called Prove It. So
Yes.
it's talking about prove your loyalty to me as an artist. Like prove, like, you know, are you really, like, it's kind of like what Kendrick said. You know, when shit hits the fan, are you still a fan?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really an Outer Space fan. That's an all right song. But overall, it's a good album. I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I would give it a 3
So I'm not.
because it's
listen to
not
it.
that, you know, like Crit got bangers.
Yeah.
Bangers. That's why I like Forever Is in My Long Time, because he got the album Bangers, and then he got the album of, you know,
Introspective.
Yeah, the introspective stuff.
I mean, the man has given us so much classic material that this album can be forgiven. 4 albums in a row can be forgiven.
Well, I'm a
I feel you.
stan, so
Yeah, I mean, I'm a stan too.
I'm a stan.
Well, I'm
Like,
not
he
a stan, but I'm a big fan.
He
Yeah.
can't do no. He can do no wrong. Like, but I would give it a 3. I would give it a 3 out of 5.
All right. So it's worth the listen.
It's
What y'all
worth the
saying?
listen.
All
It's
right.
worth the listen. Out of 19 songs, I'd say 15 are good.
19 songs. Man.
Well, there's interludes too, so
Okay.
you know, yeah. So BJ the Chicago Kid is coming back.
Yes.
Saw that somewhere. So did you hear Lil Nas X yet? Oh, Lil Nas X came out.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right.
But if you're on Twitter, you already knew.
Oh,
Because
he's-
he used to be a his Twitter used to be a Nicki Minaj fan account.
Oh.
Yeah, I read about that.
Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so like everybody like kind of already knew.
But I mean, it's good for him. You know, he's still selling records. You know, that Old Town Road had another remix that came out with Young Thug and what's that little Mason kid, little yodeling kid. You heard that?
I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty good. I
Billy
like-
Ray Cyrus was a nice addition. Let's leave it there.
Yeah, they taking this to the extreme.
Let's leave it there.
We need to calm that down. Hey, but he found his little niche, and he's doing what he got to do.
Okay, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. Did you hear it?
It's yeah.
Is it worth? I mean, I hear it got critical acclaim. Like, is it worth it?
I gave it one listen, and because most of those artists I like their material. Like I like JID, I like Ari Lennox, of course I like J Cole, but I really want to feel it. I gave it one listen. I was like,
Okay, all right. That's kind of how I felt toward Lupe's Drogas Light, but then that album kind of grew on me. Nas is coming out, Lost Tapes 2.
Oh.
The production roster on here looks amazing though. You got Alchemist, I believe you got Kanye West, and you got a few other people. Like you got some.
Well, Lost Tapes from what period? Because I think the first Lost Tapes was like from the 90s. Like, not like 90s all the way through the early 2000s.
So it's almost like a mixtape. It's almost like a Nas mixtape, like the first Lost Tapes. It looks promising.
When does it drop?
July 21st.
But what I like about the Lost Tapes is that you can kind of tell, like, by listening, like, that was supposed to be on that album, or that was supposed to be on that album, because you can kind of tell, the time period that was recorded by the beats and some of the lingo, of course, that was used. That's what I liked about it.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Does that count as an album? Do you count the Lost Tapes as a Nas album?
Sure. I do. I mean, if it's a compilation, it's an album. It's a bunch of tracks put together. It's a compilation. I mean, sometimes when you're creating work and you put stuff to the side and then you put that stuff you put to the side back to the forefront and you put all of it together, it can make something together. Mm-hmm. You look at Untitled, Unmastered by Kendrick Lamar. That was a pretty complete project. It was like an addendum to Pip a Butterfly, but it was a complete project.
Yeah. Speaking of Kendrick, where is he at, man? It's been 2 years.
He's chilling, man.
I think you should have time to chill.
I don't know.
As an artist,
you should. What else was I gonna say? Okay, so we got Nas. I'm thinking about doing this thing where I'm starting to take up offers where it's like, okay, Apple Music get 3 months free. I'm like, all right, 90 days of listening to whatever I want. Yeah. That's cool. Then you got Amazon Prime. Prime Day is coming up. I don't know what they sell on that day.
Stuff that you don't need for cheap.
Right.
Okay.
It's like Black Friday.
Pretty much.
So basically, their Apple Music, Amazon Music Unlimited is for 4 months free if you're a Prime member for 99 cents. That ends in 2 days. I figured, you know what? I'll start this up. I'll start the free months things and see how I like them.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not a student anymore. But I was about to say you can use your student ID or your email address and you get $4.99. I think $5 a month for Apple.
I ain't used that in years, man. My email is probably like,
mine got
discontinued.
Deactivated.
It's probably deactivated by now.
I think they waited because I think it gets deactivated like maybe 1 or 2 years after you graduate.
I think so.
And then I had mine for like 5, and they caught me.
They was like,
You felt that too? The lights flickered?
Yeah, the lights flickered. Wow. What's happening? Area 51, y'all. I don't know. Anthony, you ready?
We done?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so before we get into what is my opinion the best movie of the year so far that we all saw, let me get into Crawl. Crawl, man, this is the one film I didn't go to Rotten Tomatoes before I went to see it. If you know this film, you know it's about this woman who tries to save her father throughout this hurricane, and alligators are emerging from this hurricane, and it's a very dangerous situation. Very good, tense thriller, man.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was very good. It was well done. It kind of reminds you a little bit of Don't Breathe.
Yeah. And
they're both produced by Sam Raimi, who made Evil Dead. Yeah, this film is pretty good. It's solid. Nice gore, nice tense atmosphere. And homegirl, she's British. She's from Skins. Kaya, I don't know how to say her last name, but she does a good job in the lead role. So I'd recommend Crawl.
I'm surprised though. It just seems like such a weird storyline.
It does, and it seems like one of those.
But Anaconda was too.
I guess you're right.
I mean, it wasn't a good movie, but I enjoyed it.
And Snakes on the Plane, I guess.
Snakes on the Plane was good though.
Yeah.
That was the perfect role for Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
I think they probably wrote that movie.
That was revenge for the kill-off scene in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh.
We gotta do him. We gotta do right by him. We gotta do right by him.
Yeah, when the shark ate him, that was messed up, man.
Yeah.
Did you see Spider-Man?
Not yet, but I heard good things.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
It's really good.
It was good?
Yeah.
The ending, man.
I'm gonna check it out, man.
And then, you actually have to stay and watch the post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
There are 2 of them.
All right, yeah, I'll definitely check it out because I heard good things and I like this Spider-Man. So, Tobey Maguire will always be my Peter Parker, but it is what it is.
Tom Holland, man, he's stepping up. I like him.
No, I like him too. But it's that nostalgia, man. Like Spider-Man 2 to me is like near perfect.
Yeah.
That's a near perfect film.
I like the first one with the guy from the network. I can't remember his name. Andrew, whatever.
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
See,
I like the first one. The second one,
I never watched those. Like, I like that actor, but I never watched his Spider-Man.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
They said he was they said he did well, you know. I don't think there's been a bad Spider-Man actor. I'm more like the 90s Spider-Man animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like the best cartoon of all time.
DC has better animated series than
I agree. I definitely agree on that one.
Justice League is pretty good. Batman. Superman.
Yeah.
The 90s
Historical.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I agree with that. So let's get into the shits.
All right.
Midsummer.
What the fuck, dog?
Spoiler alert, y'all.
This movie was amazing to me.
All right, first off, if you haven't seen it yet, we're going to spoil some stuff for you.
Let's skip in 10 minutes. 1:35, I'll let y'all know. Let's get into the topic.
Yeah. All right.
Just skip ahead 10 minutes if you haven't seen
Right.
it.
All right, so what did y'all think? First impressions of Midsummer. First off, give an overview. You do a great job of giving overviews.
Okay, so we start off with this couple, the girlfriend Danny and Christian. So Danny has kind of like anxiety attacks, and she's kind of in a crisis when the film begins. The boyfriend, he's hanging out with his friends, and he wants to break off the relationship. He wants to get out the relationship.
I think they both do.
I think she liked him.
Yeah,
though.
she likes him. Yeah,
She really loved him.
she loves because he told her friend though.
But her friend was like, "Come on, dog, really?"
Right. She's in denial. She's a little in denial. So a horrible tragedy happens, and the boyfriend, out of guilt, stays in the relationship. Without giving too much away, and that kind of serves as the prelude to this film, which is, as the director describes it, who made Hereditary, a breakup film set in a folk horror setting. Like The Wicker Man, you know what I mean, stuff like that, and it's a transcendent movie, man. It really stayed with me in a good way. But anyway, that sets it off. So basically, the boyfriend and his friends, they're going to the Swedish festival. They both have the mutual friend who introduces the festival to them, and the girlfriend overhears it like, "Oh wow, you didn't tell me about that," and that leads to another minor argument between them. But he's like, "Do you want to go?" And she's like, "Well, I mean, I would like to be invited, but So in the end, she decides to come with them. And when they arrive at this festival, everything seems a little too nice, too sunny. There's an acid trip they have in the beginning.
It's crazy.
What was it, acid they took or LSD?
Shrooms.
They have a shroom trip in the beginning. That's pretty funny. And the movie is funny. It has funny moments.
Words, yeah.
But was it supposed to be funny? I was in there by myself cracking up.
Especially
it's
one
supposed
scene.
to be funny. I was in an auditorium full of people, and we were laughing. And so basically from there, stuff kind of goes left, and the sinister nature of these people are kind of taken to the forefront. You know how it is.
Right.
Americans go to a foreign place, it's like hostile. Sooner or later they get killed off one by one. I mean, you can know that without even seeing the movie.
Right.
But it ain't just about that.
Right.
So that's the synopsis.
I would say first off, to be PhD students or candidates, they were kind of stupid. Like some of the decisions they made, I'm like, especially the one friend, the goofy-looking friend, like some of the decisions that they were making, you would think that they were smart enough to.
Yeah, you peed
to
on
realize,
a tree.
like, right.
Yeah, but that's
Like you ain't never. You're an anthropology student and you never read Christmas in Kalahari.
Right.
Come on, dog.
That's
Really?
Americans. That's Americans in horror films, though. We make
But
stupid mistakes.
I didn't think
you're right.
about it that way.
Yeah.
I took maybe like 3 or 4 anthropology classes, but like Christmas in Kalahari is like the staple. Like if you're it's like To Kill a Mockingbird for anthropology students. Like you can't just be peeing everywhere outside.
Right, exactly.
And then the fact that my man, what's the black guy's name from?
He's from The Good Place, isn't he?
Yeah. What is his name?
William Jackson Harper. I believe
Yeah.
that's his name. He did.
He did a good. I'm mad at him though, cause he should know better.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love that culture vulture scene
Yeah.
between him and Christian. Where he's like, "Dog, you just coming into this trying to take my thesis. I've been studying this for years."
I was so mad at my man for that. Like, nah.
Oh yeah, I thought that was foul because you
was
didn't even
foul.
have an idea. You don't know if you going back to school.
How you
don't
gonna
know
share
if
a
you're in
thesis?
school.
He's
Let's
like, yeah.
share a thesis. I'm like, come
Let me
on,
do this
bruh.
together. Like, no.
you're not only a dick to your girlfriend, you a dick to your friends. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But it plays into the whole relation. Like him personally, he's a selfish person. Like, and it kind of tied into the whole theme of the story. Like for her, because she kept saying like, "Oh, you probably just leave me," like the other guy left. So for her, she always has this like the second guessing of his intentions, and I think that plays in the beginning of the relationship. Even when, you know, he was when she was having her issue with her sister, she called him up and she was, what did he say? He was like, "Don't worry about it. I think you're just overreacting." And
that's what all boyfriends say in certain situations.
But no, I just think he's a selfish person. Like he didn't truly want to hear her out, and I think that
right.
at the end of the day, when she made that decision, you know, I won't get too much away, to kill him, right?
Well,
sorry guys.
Did she or did they? Well, yeah.
Yeah,
she made the decision.
Yeah,
I think she realized she's gonna be selfish for herself, right? I think she was like, all right, he doesn't really care about me. He did this sexual act with this other woman
that he was drugged and kind of
coerced into. But I think that's the final straw. She was like, yeah, I'm done.
And
it's time for me to move on.
One thing I gotta remember, you know, she's still high as hell.
But she's coming down though.
When she's making that decision,
she was coming down at that point. I think she was
because they had gave him that specialty, and
you don't know how high in the clouds she was. Like that was a trip that was laced with LSD or like what they call natural ingredients down there.
Right.
That final shot is perfect, man.
It was.
It's like that's a cathartic final scene. Like I really enjoyed that.
Just that smile.
So, like, is she gonna? So what's gonna happen? Is she gonna stay?
I mean, like I said, she's still a little high. Like, I don't think she fully realized what just happened.
Hey, have y'all seen that meme with the little girl? It's like a fire. The house is burning down behind her, and she just has a smirk on her face. It was just like that. It was like kind of like that whole symbolism. Like things are going crazy, stuff is burning down, but it's a sinister type of thing.
The townspeople, I think they kind of picked up on their vibe. And then they like kind of exacerbated the tension between the two of them. Like they will pull them to the side and be like, "Oh yeah, this little girl wants to fuck you."
And you gotta remember, their Bible is written by a kid who is mentally challenged.
Right. Yeah.
That's like the punchline right there.
Yeah. Because
my man asked him, "So what happens if he dies?" "Oh, we'll just use the next inbreeding kid." And he's like,
ridiculous.
"What?" You know what I mean? Like this film, like it's very ironic and funny in some places.
Like some stuff that you pick up on, it's like how my man says orange juice was a little bit redder than that.
Right, and I'm like, you know, she put the period blood.
I'm
in
like
it.
that.
And then there's the paintings on the wall, though.
Yes.
The paintings tell you the story of the movie.
Seriously.
You know what I mean? And everything. This movie really it kind of impacted me, and like I thought it was better than Hereditary.
You know what?
It's more ambitious.
It was way more ambitious. I think the acting, the whole sort of the cinematography itself was pretty cool. Like a horror film in broad daylight.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, the director calls it his Wizard of Oz for perverts. I like Ari Aster, man. I want to see what he does later because he wants to make a comedy next.
But like some of the stuff, like when they did the little dinner with the old people, and the old people jumped off the cliff onto a rock.
Yeah, that was dragged out a little too much. That could have been some of the film is a little too long, but I like that whole scene, but it was dragged out a little too much.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. They get to die their way, I guess, instead of dying old and. I'm like, okay, I kind of get that. I wouldn't advocate for that, but I get it.
Then you got the British couple like, are you guys serious?
Right.
They're falling to their death.
That would shock me. And I would be pissed if you are my friend, which we find out later that these are not your friends. They brought you here knowing that you may possibly be murdered.
No, they were going to be murdered. Yeah.
Right. My friend kept telling me who saw this movie with me. He was like, man, I would have been left. I'm like, if they let you.
Yeah, because they was talking about leaving, and then they was like, oh, he left without you.
Yeah. But I think that the craziest thing is like the lack of reaction to that scene when the two older people killed themselves. That the boyfriend and the other guy had. Like, they didn't even care.
Well, like I said, they're still kind of high. You're still kind of high that whole movie. The audience too. The movie is a bad trip.
Yes, yeah.
What was I about to say? Yeah, man. The music, cinematography, the artwork, the gore. this was a very ambitious second feature, and I feel like I kind of put it in the same space as Us, where like both him and Jordan Peele kind of like swung fatal fences.
Yeah.
And made some pretty solid sophomore movies.
One part of the movie where I just shook my head was the whole sex scene.
That was well done.
It was well done. It reminded me a little bit. I don't know if y'all watch. What is it called? On Hulu, Handmaid's Tale.
I do.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of Handmaid's Tale, a little bit, right?
Handmaid's
Yeah.
Tale has
Handmaid's
more
Tale.
has more dread in it though.
It does,
This
but-
this one was played with some humor.
Yeah, but the whole like the women sort of
Yeah,
Being there.
being there and right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was interesting. Like people was I was laughing.
I was laughing when she put her hands on his ass and was pushing. I was in there down like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
So, what are some of the greater themes that y'all sort of noticed from this movie? Like, what was the main message that you think Ari was trying to convey? Was it the relationship? Was that the main focal point?
Well, that's the corner story there. It is a breakup film. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like I know when he pitched Hereditary, it was really just about a dysfunctional family. But in order to sell the script, he added the witchcraft part of it, and it turned into a whole different movie. So, yeah, the breakup film is at the corner of it, but it's really I think the movie is really just about Danny's spiritual journey.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From like a terrible tragedy to just like transcendent happiness.
yeah. And part of me thinks that the group purposely made her the May Queen or the Flower Queen, whatever, the May Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I think they purposely did that. I think they did it because even the guy, like, he drew the picture of her with the crown on, like with the Mayflower crown. And I think it was almost like they knew that they wanted her for some reason.
Yeah,
be
because
that.
like that guy, he was like the only one that wasn't like kind of irritated that she was coming along.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't. Everybody else was like, oh, you bring your girl. And
Right.
then he was like, "Oh, I'm very glad." Like, that you
Yeah,
come.
wasn't he kind of caking on her in one scene?
Yeah, he was,
They was
right.
sitting together. Like,
Oh, he kissed her too at one point when she was real high.
Yeah,
And then she won a little May Queen.
There's a lot of things you can draw from this, man. You could draw, kind of like turn the lemons into lemonade, or like kind of trying to work through grief.
The eliminate is killing your boyfriend.
Right.
Right. You got a house of pain that's burning down. There's a lot of symbolism in this movie. I'm definitely gonna give it a second watch.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Probably not.
He said no.
Probably.
It was a
It's
trip.
gory, like, and they would hit that. I think what was it? The man that didn't die when he jumped off the rock.
Yeah, and he hit him in the head.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think
gory
we went
movie.
over
It's a
by a
disturbing
minute.
movie.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to read my review on this, you can go to wearecritics.com, CRITIX.com. My review is on there. But I liked it, man. I think so far, like right above Endgame, like there. This is like probably the best movie I've seen all year.
But the amount of gaslighting that happened in that movie, like from a lot of people, right? It was like they tell you there's one thing, like, oh, everything's gonna be fine. Like they even the guy who brought them there, he's like, yeah, it's just like a regular festival we do. Everything's gonna be fine. But little did they know, like, it was not fine.
I mean, but
None
if
of
you
it.
watch horror films, you know what it is. Like,
Yeah.
you know what the deal is. You know what this is coming to.
Yeah, but I think it was I liked it. It was well done. Again, I don't know if I would watch it twice, just because it was an adventure.
Who did better, Florence Pugh or Toni Collette in Hereditary?
Oh, I like what's Colette was the woman. She was the
Yeah, Tony.
She was-
Tony,
she
I
was
like
the
Toni
mother.
Collette,
She's
the mother. I like
Okay.
her.
Okay.
She did especially that end scene, man. Where not the floating body scene. That was kind of weird.
Right.
Wasn't that strange? Remember that the body just like the
Yeah.
headless body
It's a
floated up to
strange
the.
movie.
Yeah.
That was
I like
weird.
him, man. He's emotional horror. I like him as a
Yeah.
director. But all right, any more final
think,
observations?
I don't know.
I finally saw Bohemian Rhapsody,
Fine. It's been out for like a year.
but
That's a good movie. It's a little too long though.
Yeah.
like, I'm like, who is this movie really about? Like, it's not even about the whole group,
No,
and
it's
I don't
About
think,
Freddie, ain't it?
Right. It's this Freddy story.
and I don't think he did that good of a job.
Well.
I don't think it was Oscar worthy, but also it could very well be Oscar worthy. It's just that Jamie Foxx and Ray is like the standard for like
Right.
music biopics. And it's like, if you ain't Jamie Foxx and Ray, then you come on.
Well, the thing is, Rami, you know, it was mostly makeup made him look like Freddie. But I think during that performance scene, he really did embody Freddie Mercury. Like during that performance scene at the Live Aid concert, like I was like, okay, I understand why he was nominated because he had the Freddie swagger.
Yeah, if you see the split screen between the Live Aid actual performance and then the movie, yeah, it was spot on. Like he did a great job. Right. I just couldn't get over my man's like little teeth they put in his mouth.
Yeah, the teeth they put in.
It was so annoying. Because I don't think Freddie Mercury's teeth were that bad. They just made it.
No, they weren't that bad.
Yeah.
They just made his look.
They over-exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, y'all, definitely go see Midsommar. Right. It's worth the watch.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I can recommend it.
Well, look.
No, Anthony didn't recommend it to me. I just went to see it. I'm like, oh, y'all both saw it, so I'll go see it.
If you like deep, disturbing, like emotional horror, then go see Midsommar because it really ain't for everybody. Let's just be fair there. It ain't for everybody.
Yeah, it takes a disturbed soul.
Right.
All right, let's get into our main topic, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a pretty interesting topic. So we're looking at kind of our infatuation with movies and how it's used to sort of escape reality to an extent. Escapism, yeah. Movies as escapism. And, you know, looking at historically why people went to the movies and like is it truly an opportunity for the 3 hours of your life to just all negative things happen in your world, you can just sort of escape from it and just fall into this fake persona or this fake environment.
Yeah.
Personally, I love the movies, and it's definitely an escape for me. You know, I just use it as an opportunity to just de-stress, relax, just not have to worry about nothing. Right? And I enjoy it. That's why I go.
Yeah, I mean, like in the thick of the Great Depression, people went to go see Gone with the Wind. And, you know, that kind of lifted people's spirits, you know, like a sweeping romance and all that, like, you know, Casablanca.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like our movie kind of taking us away from the Trump climate. You know, we go to superhero films.
Yeah.
Endgame. Like, you know, that took my mind away from Trump because I was so much anticipating this movie that, you know, lifted my spirits and said, okay, all my superheroes are getting together. How they going to get out of this one little cliffhanger from the last film? It was escapism.
Yeah, it's definitely escapism and attempting to live vicariously through others. I think that's why, like, blaxploitation films was like such this big boom in the 70s because you got black people smacking white people, calling them crackers and stuff that you can't, as a black person, do in real life.
Right.
So, I think definitely we use most forms of media as an escape.
Yeah. And I just think that in essence, and I'm a huge like movie fan. I'm not a cinephile to the point where Anthony is, where he's writing reviews, but I will go to the movies by myself multiple times a week. Like I just like it. And so it's just one of those things where I love, again, these storylines where good things happen. Like at the end of every movie, usually something good will happen, unless it's Midsommar, whereas everyone dies.
There's a resolution.
But there's a resolution.
Yes.
And often we don't have that in our lives, right?
Like we don't, like, we're so used to things getting resolved within 2 hours. Or even in a TV show where something is resolved within 10 hours.
Right.
But, like, for us, it takes years, or some things in our lives never get resolved.
True.
You're walking into this world. You're going towards the middle, and in the end, you walk out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's escapism. You're walking into another world every time you sit into that darkly lit theater.
Yeah. And so, do you think that the movies will ever die? Like the traditional movie theater setting. Do you think it will ever fade away? You think it's kind of just embedded within our culture?
I mean, we've come this far. I mean, this led to another thing that I guess we might talk about next episode, where everything has a streaming service now.
Yeah.
Everything has a subscription. Every channel has a subscription. And it's keeping more people at home, and I understand how that might be, you know, kind of discouraging to the people who run theaters. But if you're really into like the magic of cinema or being fully enmeshed into a film, you got to sit in that dark room, man.
I agree.
I think what they call it, FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out. I think that will keep movie theaters open because I mean, like I was telling you about the Doctor Strange when I went to see Doctor Strange, and there were kids having commentary behind me.
Yeah.
One of them had obviously streamed it, like watched it illegally, allegedly, because he knew all the lines. He,
But that was Thor Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, it was Thor Ragnarok. Thank you. It was Thor Ragnarok, and he like knew, but he still was at the movies.
Yeah. I don't, but it's for me. It's something about being in an audience full of strangers and kind of sharing this moment together.
You have a shared experience.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, and then also
Yeah.
like initially on the streaming, like when you allegedly try to watch a movie, on a Fire Stick the weekend it comes out, it's not very clear. So people are
Right.
like, man, this is not a clear version. So I'm still going to go to
Yeah.
the movies to see the movie because I don't want to miss out.
Yeah. And two, I mean, one thing movies can do better though is kind of expensive. Specifically the food. The food's really expensive. But I've found ways to get around that allegedly that I think we all have to an extent.
Man, I love me some AMC A-list, man, because it's like the more films you see, you get $5 rewards. So basically, the concessions are paying for themselves. Like,
Yeah.
I would put my stamp of approval on that for people like me. But I want to touch back on what you said earlier. You don't have to like write reviews to be a cinephile. You
That's
just
true.
watch a bunch of movies.
You can watch a bunch
Yeah,
of
you're
movies.
Hey, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's a lot of cinephiles in the world. They may not know they are,
Right.
but they are.
Yeah, like no matter what, it doesn't matter what genre it is.
Right.
Like, because I watch movies, and I'm like, that's like out of the norm. I like watch black and white movies, hood movies.
Right. Yeah. I mean, do you think that our infatuation with specifically superhero movies, I think that can kind of be a little bit problematic, right, in our lives?
Well, we need heroes.
We do need heroes, but we always think that a hero can't be ourselves, right? We look at someone as you have to have some type of power, some type of figure. You have to be this super strong person.
I kind of would disagree with that. I
You
feel
do?
like some people, like the little kids, like that go see the Captain Marvels and they dress up like Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Like scenes, like a lot of people didn't like this scene in Endgame where you had like all the female superheroes together.
Yeah.
But a scene like that was for the little.
It was cool. I mean, it was
That was cool.
obviously pandering, but
Right.
I thought it was cool.
It was for the little girl in the front row. It was for your daughter who said girl power.
Yeah, she
You know,
did.
They see something like that on screen, it gives them confidence. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
That's true.
It brings the hero out of you.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing too, even dating back to like the early 1900s when movies were first established and they were like silent films, I can imagine being like sitting in a silent film personally.
Well, that's when it was first. Yeah, I mean, but,
Right.
Like you see a scene and then they cut to the caption.
Right. I'm like, but
it was a whole new invention back then, though.
yeah. But even then, it was just like, I don't know, something so pure about that concept of just seeing this art, seeing this reflection of life being portrayed in this movie. Right? It's kind of hard to explain like how it makes me feel, but I just enjoy it. Like, I love it.
I mean, the escapism, like, and we got to touch on this. It can be dangerous.
Yes.
Like art imitates life. Life shouldn't always imitate art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got the people who love, like me, who love the action films like the Kill Bills,
Right.
the Fast and Furious films, the Matrix and all that. And then
Right.
you got the people who watch the, deranged films like American Psycho, still a good movie, and take that to heart and really think, oh, wow, this film that was written and directed by professional people who knew they were making like a deranged film that's trying to say something is talking to me. But you're not really getting the message that was supposed to be sent to you. You're taking it in a different way.
Like Fight Club. I think
Right.
that movie gets misinterpreted quite a bit.
It does get
Right.
misinterpreted. It really does.
Yeah, but that's so true when you think about what was those little girls who saw like the Slender Man or something?
Oh yeah.
And they decided to kill their friend or like attempted.
They tried to kill their friend.
Yeah, because they said the Slender Man told them to. So
I mean, art can be dangerous. It can be dangerous. I mean, I remember me and my friends in my neighborhood growing up, we watched wrestling, and, we pull wrestling moves on each other and hurt each other by accident. And I'm like, it can be dangerous.
yeah. So for you personally, was the movies like a childhood thing? Like, was it something you just grew up doing that you kind of just loved? And
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, this topic really speaks to me because I do look at it as an escape.
yeah,
Like, my mom used to tell me that when I watched Home Alone as a kid, I would like walk up to the VCR and rewind it when it was over and then play it again. I don't remember that because I was like too little, but yeah, it's always been an escape to me.
yeah. And
Your
so
kids, like, I don't know what it is. Like when they have a movie that they like, they want to watch it over and over and over again.
yeah,
Because you're reliving that moment. You're reliving that thing that made you smile and laugh.
and one thing too, I think that specifically our generation, we love like that nostalgia, and you're starting to
Yeah.
see that play kind of in the movies that are created now. It's all remakes. It's remakes of everything that we've had in the 90s. And I remember looking at, like, again, Toy Story, Lion King, Aladdin, all this stuff that was playing in the 90s, like 95, 96, are now in 2019, which is crazy.
It may not be for me, but I understand why Lion King is getting a remake. It's for the kids of the new generation.
But it's not the same, though.
Well,
the animated version is the best.
Well, to us, the kids, some kids probably haven't even seen it yet, and they're looking at this new live action version like, that looks cool. You know, so I do get it. So I'm not against it. I don't know if that movie looks like it's for me, though. I might not go see it, but I understand why it's being made.
But that's my biggest beef, though, with these Disney live action. It takes away.
But as long as they keep making money,
they're going to do it.
It's a money thing too.
But it was something about the cartoons where obviously it's not real. You know, it's all like made up and imaginary. But it added so much character to everything, right? It made it was more colorful. It was
and you can actually
fun.
Give animals emotion,
right?
When you
with the CGI, it's just like they all look the same. These bland little.
How do you know that wasn't the original intention when they first made Lion King? Man, I wish we had the technology to make this real live action. You know,
I'm sure it was, but again, I think that emotion that you said is lacking. You know, just from the previews, I'm like, it doesn't feel the same. It's missing something. So I'm hoping that we kind of get away from doing those live action remakes.
Oh no, they're gonna keep coming. Mulan's coming. I want to see that.
Now I would watch that,
I
right?
See that
because that can definitely translate well.
No, I'm looking at this article here, which kind of like inspired me a little bit. Like I said, Inverse.com, modern blockbuster escapism resonates now more than ever. So is cinema escapism, is it as important in the Trump age?
Yeah, I think we dive more into it now.
Yeah. I think I would say even after like big events like 9/11, when that happened, I think more people wanted to have those feel-good stories, those feel-good moments.
Yeah.
And I think after that, you started to see the increase in those superhero movies. A ton of them came out.
A ton of rom-coms.
Like people just wanted to just separate themselves from what was going on and just be happy for once.
Something that will give you kind of like a little bit of anxiety and adrenaline rush, but it's gonna be like some sort of a happy ending.
Yeah. Right. Like post 9/11 was like an interesting time for cinema because it kind of shifted a little bit. You went towards the artistic side, but you mostly went to the, You've Got Mail and stuff like that, like the romantic comedies, because like you said, feel good, you know what I mean? Yep. And some stuff that surrounded, bombings and explosions got pushed back because it was a sensitive time too.
Yeah. I do have a question for y'all. What are your thoughts about going to the movies alone?
I love it, man.
I love it. I don't have to share my snacks.
No, because I know a lot of people are
no
like...
judgment, because that's why I was like, oh, man, midsummer, I'm going, and I spent a lot of money, but I'm like, oh, they got funnel cake fries?
Right,
I want some of those, and I want a quesadilla.
Dude, when I'm in it, and I get a little taken out of the moment when it's like, hey, so how you think this gonna end? Oh, who's he? And I'm like, man, like stuff,
right.
You know what I mean? I like going by myself.
I love going.
And
by myself.
I never understood the concept of going to movies in big groups because watching the movie is such a personal thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to share that experience with other people as well, which I understand. But what's the stigma against going by yourself? There should be no stigma.
The only thing about going by myself is when I leave, I don't have nobody to talk about the movie with. That's it.
Yeah. Like with Endgame, I needed to see somebody. I needed to see that with somebody.
But you got social media though. You can go directly to Twitter and share your experience.
But social media, you're talking through a screen. You are communicating, but I like really sitting with somebody and talking about something. Like Endgame, when I saw that with my girl, I loved it, and then I got my mom and dad, and I brought them to the movies to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some movies you need to see with other people.
Yeah. I guess you're right, because I was reading an article, and they were like, it was a person talking about their experience the first time they went to the movies by themselves. Like, they felt awkward. They were like, people are looking at me, they're judging me.
Well, if you're not used to it, then of course. But I'm used to it.
Yeah. The first time I went alone, I was probably in high school.
I was in high school. I think I went. No, I was in high school. I think I went to see Scream 2 or 3
by yourself.
Yeah, no, it was 3 because I saw Scream 2 with my dad. Shout out to my dad. Yeah. We went to see Amistad, and then we went to go see Scream 2.
Oh my God, Amistad, then Scream 2.
We
Yeah.
movie hop. Shout out to my dad.
Oh yeah, I used to sneak in these theaters all the time.
My dad and I did that once. We saw Inspector Gadget, then we went and saw Tarzan.
And you can't do that now because it's
Those
assigned
seats.
seat.
I know they smart.
And
They
you know,
caught up to us.
security guards, they're kind of around.
Not to imagine.
Well,
Allegedly.
AMC,
No.
AMC Gratiot, they're around. You ain't getting into that Dolby theater if you ain't got a ticket.
That's true.
That's their expensive. That's their most expensive theater.
Yeah, but I know some theaters, like especially if you go in early enough, there's no one like collecting tickets or like doing none of that.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
can kind of just allegedly, y'all. So
Yeah, allegedly.
I ain't giving away no secrets.
Yeah, I
But
wanna
the thing, like, I be wanting to do it because there's some, like when I went to see Midsummer, somebody could have came in there,
Right.
Because I was the only one there, and it's mostly assigned seats. But I be scared, like, what if I go in here and I sit in somebody's seat
You just like, oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong section. My fault.
and then walk out?
And walk out right.
when I went to see Schindler's List when they re-released it in theaters, I was the only person in there, and it was on like the big screen.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't make a difference if somebody was in there or not. I was just totally enmeshed in this film that was being re-released that I didn't get to see when it first came out because it was before my time. But yeah, man, I mean, the first time you do it, yeah, it's gonna feel awkward. But
Yeah.
if you're used to it, then whatever.
You know what amazes me that the structure of a movie theater has not even really changed that much.
Does
Since
it need to?
conception. I mean, no, it doesn't necessarily need to. I think it's adapted to fit people's comfort. Like people want to feel like you're at home.
Got the reclining seats.
Yeah, reclining seat. The
seats.
food comes to you now, which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. But its essence is still the same. Like 100 people, sit in the audience, which I love. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I like a audience that's like little to none when it's like a deep movie that I kind of got to focus on.
Yeah.
But if it's like a crowd pleaser movie like Endgame, I kind of need a full audience.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't be in there all alone because I'm gonna be like, dog, I'm the only one experiencing this. Like I'm gonna be like, man, I need somebody else in here with me.
Endgame is nothing better than when that scene came and everyone came back. And just
Avengers.
the cheer. Yeah,
Assemble.
the cheers. Like that was the man.
Yeah,
gave
like
me
when they
chills.
just walked through, it was quiet, and
Yeah.
they walked through the circles, and everybody just started.
And then a tear
clapping.
came down. I was like, shit, I'm glad I'm by myself.
Yeah, like you even look at Titanic, like a sweeping romance. Like that was an escapism film. That's like the go-to escapism film. We're talking about this topic. Everybody wanted to see Jack and what was Kate's name in that movie?
Rose.
Jack and Rose. Jack died, and that's the key one right there. Avatar 2.
Avatar's really.
Yeah.
Wait, 2? I like 1 better.
No, there's just one Avatar.
Oh, I was supposed to. Avatar 2.
Yeah.
Aren't they making one?
They're making a 2. He's making like 3 sequels.
3 sequels. Why?
He's Peter Jackson in
Why
it right
3?
now, bro. He can't get out of that world. But it's James Cameron. Has he ever failed visual wise?
No, not
he's
at
never
all.
failed.
Not
So,
at all. But
Story,
we don't need.
I don't know about story.
We don't
but
need 3 though. That's.
It's gonna happen. Harry Potter was a good escapism era. Going to see those movies. The last movie was an event, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Oh man.
The Batman trilogy, Dark Knight. Like Dark Knight, I saw that in IMAX, and I just bragged to like the old lady across the street that I don't even talk to that much. You see Batman? Oh no, but I heard about it. I'm like, you should see it because Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, like the whole plot line, like that movie was an event to me.
Yeah, but I love the fact that with movies, there becomes the reward for the actors. You got the Oscars. It's just the culmination of all of their efforts and time.
I mean,
That's cool too. I like that.
that's kind of biased in itself. Like I don't really watch the Oscars anymore.
Yeah, I don't watch award shows. Period.
Y'all missing out.
I
But
still
like Oscars, I get watching like musical related award shows because of the performances.
The
but
Tony
Oscars,
Awards.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Tonys.
The BET. Well, no.
I mean, they have good performances because I never heard of Lizzie until she was on BET.
Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo.
Lizzo. Yeah, I never heard of
Like
Lizzo.
Lizzo.
I said Lizzie until I saw her on the BET Awards. I'm like, oh, she's dope.
Yeah.
That's kind of escapism too. But I can't watch the Oscars just because I think some of the awards are biased. But I also like all those famous people in one room. I don't know. I just feel awkward about it. I'm like,
Why?
I just I don't know. I just get a little awkward.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, the escapism is real, and I think that ultimately the movies are, it's just ingrained in the fabric of American culture. That's, we've culture cultural norms, things that came out of movies that are now like socially relevant it's kind of awesome, just the quotes that you have, man.
Yeah.
And I love the fact to be able to share an emotion with people, just strangers. Like, there's nothing more pure than that. Any final thoughts?
Sorry, Lizzo.
Yeah, Lizzo. They should be twerking with the flute and stuff.
I'm like, oh my
See
God,
that?
that's so dope. Like,
She's adorable. Yeah, she's
She is
adorable.
dope.
I like her. I think art is escapism, but it's like don't escape every day. Escape at the right moments. Escapism should be used wisely. You don't want to put your whole like thought process and just like be glued to the TV all the time. But when it's there and it's time for you to wind down and get away from the craziness of real life, there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah,
It's almost like a drug, though, when you think about it.
it is.
it definitely is.
Yeah.
Like, I would leave the movies and then go home and watch a movie.
Right. And yeah, that's true. Any final thoughts? No, Shayna? All right, y'all. This has been a great episode. Please like and share.
Subscribe. Give feedback. All right.